Welcome back to AM Northwest. Running gave our next guest a way to grieve her mother and eventually landed her her dream job and even her husband. But when she turned 47, 1 year older than her mother ever was, an injury forced her to stop running away from the one thing she's always avoided: children. Here to share her story of adopting in midlife, we welcome the author of The Mother of All Decisions, Betsy Armstrong. Good to have you with us.
Thank you.
There's a lot here. There's a lot in your memoir.
There is.
A memoir of mother loss, legacy, and adopting kids in midlife. So let's start with why you decided to write the memoir in the first place.
Well, we had just adopted our kids, so spoiler alert, there's an adoption.
Yeah.
And
From Russia.
From Russia. And they were 10 and 12. And I thought I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. That's what the kids needed.
Yeah.
And about 3 months in, I just thought to myself, I need something more.
Right.
And I went online and started looking. I'm one of those people who really like to take classes and to learn, keep learning. And I thought, you know, I've kept a journal since I was 15 years old. So why don't I try writing something? So I started. I really didn't plan on writing a book per se, but I started taking classes and writing about my adoption experience, as well as the grief of my mother's loss and other things. And it just all kind of came together. And 12 years later, here I have a book.
Well, initially you didn't want to become a mother, and I understand from reading your book, had a lot to do with your own childhood.
Yes.
It was rather difficult.
It was. I was really worried about repeating the patterns that my family had, that I'd experienced in my family of origin. And I felt so lucky to find my husband, who is just a wonderful man, and he's got a great family. And they really showed me a different way to be in family.
Right.
And so it was through that, along with then having my 47th birthday looming there, that made me go, you know, maybe kids, I don't want to ever regret anything.
Right.
And I think if I didn't try this, I might regret it. So off we went.
Your mother married a man who was really just not a good person.
He was very difficult and very angry, and I still don't know why.
Yeah, big guy.
Big guy.
He treated you terribly, your mother terribly, your brother. He would hit your brother.
Yeah.
Right.
He was very abusive.
Yeah. So that had to be so traumatic.
Yeah, and that combined with when my mother passed away, I was 23. She was only 46, and then my stepdad disinherited me. And really, I have very few anything from my childhood, you know, pictures.
Nothing to remember your mom by.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, very few things.
This is, understand, this is one of the only pictures you have of her.
Yes, that's at my graduation party. So it's almost 5 years before she was diagnosed with colon cancer.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you decided to adopt children from Russia, it was because a friend of yours had just done that, right?
Yes, some friends of ours, a couple, had done this about 4 years before we did. And watching their girls flourish, and just watching these friends of mine who were also about the same age as I was when we adopted, when they adopted, just watching them, I thought, you know, if there's a way to do this, this is the way.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did, although we explored all the options.
And why Russia?
Russia, mostly because that's where our friends had adopted, and we went through this program that I felt very strongly about adopting older children, and I knew that we wanted to adopt two, because my husband and I kind of came to that. And so Russia was really the place where the agency that we worked with had the most connections and the most influence, I would say. We did try Ukraine first, but then that adoption failed. It fell apart for...
You have to be patient when you're doing this, don't you?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You have to. That is not one of my core traits. But yes, you do, because you wait and you wait and you wait, and you get paperwork and paperwork and paperwork, and you send it and you get phone calls, you got to redo it. Yeah, it takes a long time. We started in January of 2011, and we brought the kids home in October of 2012.
You talk, and you go back and forth between your childhood and then what's going on present day. Let's talk about the running, because really you use running as an outlet.
Oh, running was the way that I healed my grief, I would say, from my mom. I took care of her when she got sick, and we had some really intense conversations that were such a gift about her regrets. And it struck me so hard. I don't know exactly why, but I thought it was such a tragedy that she didn't get to do all the things she wanted to do. So when she died, my initial reaction was very much, okay, I don't want to have regrets. What are the things I want to do? And the first thing that came to my mind was run a marathon, which it was 1988.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know very many 24-year-olds who ran marathons, but I figured I'm a runner, I'm athletic, and I just kept running. And
Because you've done triathlons.
then I branched out into triathlons. I've run 20 marathons, did the Ironman. Yeah, it was something that made me feel very capable, and every time I crossed a finish line, especially the first one, I literally heard my mom say, look at what you did. If you can do this, what can you do next?
Yeah.
And that just led me, running really became a hobby, but then it also became my dream job. And I got to work at a grassroots nonprofit. I was the first employee for Girls on the Run Chicago.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And so then I loved it. It was such a joy to work with these young kids and have them have the same kind of realization that I did when because the program, we trained them to do a 5K along with life skills lessons. And so when they crossed that 5K finish line, it was like seeing myself.
Right.
Only much younger, because these are 8 to 12-year-old girls. And so it was just I felt like I was giving them that, look, you can do big things. You might think you can't, but go for it. Pick something.
Yeah.
Choose. Yeah.
Yeah. And the kids now are grown.
Mm-hmm.
And how are they doing, and how's the relationship?
They're doing great.
Yeah.
You know, Andre's 24. He's trained as an electrician.
That's
so
great.
I know. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, come over. I've got some things to fix.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. And then Svetlana's 22, and she is trying to figure out what she wants to do in life, which is, I didn't know until much later, so I got to give her some credit. And they are living on their own independently. I just came from Chicago, where I saw, I was with Svetlana and shopping for wedding dresses. Not that she's getting married, a cousin of hers is getting married. So
that's fantastic.
Yes.
We want to tell everyone again, the book is titled The Mother of All Decisions, a Memoir of Mother Loss, Legacy, and Adopting Kids in Midlife. Betsy Armstrong, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.